Hi, welcome to House Hunting. Today we have a very special guest, Miss Dennetta Wright. She's an amazing realtor in the area. And Dennetta, can you tell us a little bit about you?
Absolutely. Hello, my name is Dennetta, and I am a realtor with Fathom Realty. I do service the Fredericksburg and the Richmond market area. I have real estate for over 10 years now, and so I primarily focus with buyers and sellers.
Okay, so I'm going to jump right in today because I'm super excited to talk to you. I love the energy that you give to your clients and also how you're so informative on your social. So what are some must-have features that you think individuals who want to sell their home should make sure they have in their home?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So those items are going to be, my first two items will be the bathroom and the kitchen. When you walk into a home, the first thing that is the bathroom and the kitchen. And then from there, you only have 5 seconds to make a great impression. So my clients that are looking to sell their home, I recommend staging, even if they're living in a home, having someone to come in, because buyers buy off of emotion. So you want them to feel that this home, you want them to walk in. So as soon as they get out the car, from landscaping to the doormat to the wreath on the door, you want to create a feeling that they have when they walk through, because most clients are viewing multiple homes. But what makes your home stand out? And then when you think about those renovations to the or any type of nice upgrades, most clients tend to go for the kitchen and the bathroom.
Okay, so staging, I know to some people can sound like a scary word. You mean, I'm already trying to sell my home, and now you want me to shell out kind of more funds to get someone to come in and touch my furniture and move it all around. So what would you say is a ballpark figure for someone to expect in terms of staging?
Absolutely. So staging can range anywhere, and it depends. It depends on the stager that you're bringing in. That I've kind of quoted a couple in the area. So I have some on the low end and I do have some on the high end. Okay. We have different price markets. If you're in the home, I do have stagers who may not bring in their linen because obviously you're sleeping in the home, but they'll spruce up certain areas. And that will always kind of cost. And that is something that you definitely want to discuss with an agent, because when that house, if it does not sell within a certain time frame, it can be like a renewal of a contract, and you can find yourself paying for those staging. There are a few people who are leaning towards virtual staging. Virtual staging is great. It brings the client in because they see the pictures. But remember, I said there's a feeling that they have to have when they walk through the door. So when you saw the pictures, it made them schedule their appointment. But when they walk through the home, they may have not still gotten the feel that they were looking for. So those are great questions to kind of pose. What I like to do for my sellers is I like to offset that fee for them. So they don't pay all of that. It's almost like an investment to help them to move their property forward. The only thing is that if it does not sell, then we come back and we don't really come back because we discussed that from the beginning as to what that looks like. If the home doesn't sell, if you change your mind, you take your home off it. So absolutely.
Okay, and virtual staging is something that I'm not as familiar with, but it sounds like that's a great option during the pandemic, especially. So can you explain a little bit how that works? Is it that it's almost like a 3D imposed photo on your home, so what your home could look like, or what exactly is virtual staging?
Absolutely. It is that 3D image. It looks just like furniture in a picture. And so when you come out, there's no furniture there. But in the picture, it looks like there was furniture, and it does give you the idea of what can be there. So sometimes you may walk into a challenging space, and we are to create what this space could look like. You see a lot of people nowadays turning certain rooms into offices. They're turning rooms into workout areas because you think with the pandemic, COVID, a lot changed with these homes, and people are like, I need a home office. I need more space. So
Right.
I've seen the transition of offices. So a lot of staging is being able to show you how even a small area could be an office or workspace for yourself. I'm seeing a lot of home gyms being, looked at, whether it's in the garage or whether it's literally a room in the home that they want to have a home, gym for. So it allows you to see what that space could be because everybody does not have that creative mind.
Okay, that's a great tip, and having someone who can kind of guide and has a lay of the land, because I'm sure they've done multiple staging of what's actually selling in the market. So that's a great tip. Okay, so let me know what maybe like one do and one do not do in terms of sellers when they're trying to sell their home and really get a return. What's something that you say, this is a must-have, this is something you have to do, and then something you're like, please don't do this.
Absolutely. So I would say do start early. Do start early. Do not wait. I have a lot of clients that are like, okay, I'm waiting till my house is perfect. No, early. Get an agent out there. Begin to do your numbers. Allow that to prepare you because a lot of people will go in and do major renovations or they may overdo things at home. So allow the agent, because your agent knows what's selling in the market. So they can kind of come in to be able to say, yes, do this, but don't do that. So my thing is connect with the agent early to bring them out there, see what's happening. So what's selling, what other homes look like in their market. And that way a client, which goes into my don't, they're not over upgrading their home. They're not pulling up carpet. I will say one example, we had a client where we were able to deep clean their carpet. And that saved that person because you have to remember, you want your home to present well and you want your home to sell. And you want to sell the type of homes and the type of sellers that I like to work with. We want to sell something of quality. I work both sides. So I work the buyer side and I work the seller. I've walked in homes that the carpets were never clean. It's just not something I recommend just because it's a hot and aggressive market and you're going to get multiple offers. Still take pride in what you're putting on the market. So with that said, I would say not to over upgrade. There are some things that, again, some light staging could make that home feel different. Another don't to is don't overcompensate your home in smell. When we walk into homes and it feels really strong and potent with a fragrance, we are always wondering, what are they covering up? So what are they covering up? If you're going to do something light that gives this smells good, but nothing too strong, because we on the buyer side walk in and we're wondering, what is this? What is this smell? If you have to paint, that is a do paint. Okay. It is a great return on your investment to paint. But again, having the agent to come out in the beginning to let you know, you don't need to do this, but you do need to do that.
Okay, so it sounds like you're really reinforcing. You really need another set of eyes to take you out of living in the home that you're used to come in and tell you these things need to change, but these things over here that may be your pet peeve may not be the pet peeve of the next buyer, so don't do that. Also, that tip about fragrance is a really good one, because I think that's something that you don't think of as far as a home that you're trying to present. You're thinking about the furniture, you're thinking about, do I have the kitchen right? But that smell not throwing people off, that's a really good tip, something that should be really subtle, and almost if you can smell it, it's too strong. I don't think I've heard that one before, so that's a really good one. All right, so what purchases really help sellers get the ROI they're looking for? You often hear a lot about, okay, do your bathroom and do your kitchen, but what should you do? So what are the 1, 2, 3 items that people should actually do if they want to get their money right back?
Absolutely, Joyce. So I always, and I'm going to answer this question, how I walk my buyers into when I walk my buyers into a home, I tell them to look for these items, which is the windows, the HVAC, the appliances, and the flooring. Now we can't roof because that's what we hire our inspector for. But the thing that I'm telling my clients to pay attention to is if this is a renovated home, but the windows are not updated, the cost of putting windows into your home can be quite expensive. So that's something to consider with the home. If there is a savings there, then maybe the client's like, it's okay, I'll get this. But if not, that could be a large investment, especially for a first-time home buyer. We're also looking at flooring. Flooring is another thing that I point out to my clients because that can be another large investment. So if the flooring is not good, are you going to pull it up? Is there income to pull it up? Is there savings to pull it up? And then the other thing is your appliances. Your appliances. I wrote those down for you today. But yes, your appliances, because there are clients who, if the house doesn't have a dishwasher, they're saying, Dennetta, next. Just the dishwasher alone could be a deal breaker for a client. So everybody has their different wants and desires, but I will say those are my big items. And then the roof. The roof is another item that we do not get to look at. Now, here's just a little tip for my sellers. I typically do not like to do a pre-home inspection. Here's why. Pre-home inspection, yes, it will let you know items that you possibly need to fix in your home. When the buyer, and it is their right if approved, when they purchase their inspector is going to come out. There's a different set of eyes, and their inspector is going to inspect the home and may come up with a whole different list than what your pre-inspector came up with. So my recommendation tip to my sellers is hold off on the inspection, allow the buyer to pay for the inspection, and the buyer will already tell you what they want to fix. I've had one home, 2 different inspectors, and each report was both different. So one, the client replaced the electrical panel. The second inspection, that electrical panel was there, but I don't think it was flagged. So if you went in and started upgrading, because you'll know, Joy, there are some things that are grandfathered in with electrical panels. And so the first inspector pointed it out and made my client feel like it needed to be upgraded and replaced. The second inspector came speaking to those grandfather things that could allow that panel to stay. And then later she did upgrade and replace the electrical panel box when it was not a big need for the home. And that too, electric items you're not going to see when you're walking in a home as a buyer. We're not going to see the electrical, but we do see the windows. We do see the HVAC system. If that home has window units, that is something that I'm telling my clients to prepare for, because that investment on a low end, if you can find someone, maybe $5,000, at least $8,000 or more, just to get that HVAC unit converted into the home.
Right. So it sounds like you're really telling sellers, pay attention to the windows, pay attention to the floors, make sure your home has a dishwasher, and make sure your home has central heating and air. And also kind of save money on the front end by waiting and letting that potential buyer do that home inspection.
Absolutely, Joy. Absolutely. And there are some items that, depending on the seller, everybody has a different situation. So the seller may not be in a financial position to do, an upgrade. So for example, when I bought my home, the seller did not replace units. However, she did give me a credit that allowed me, at the price of, purchasing her, she gave credit that allowed me to go out and put it in after the close of the home. So those are creative ways. And again, we want to be able to sell the home. And in a market like today, the house will probably go on and be under contract within no time. But when you notice that the market shifts, that should shift soon, when the market shifts, those are some things that we want to consider, because we don't want the days on the market. We don't want our home staying on the market long. We want to be able to figure out what is it, get it sold.
Okay, great. Those are some great tips. Thank you so much for sharing. So tell viewers where they can find you on social media.
Absolutely. So on Instagram, it is at Realtor Dennetta Wright. So that's Realtor, Dennetta Wright. And then you can also find me on Facebook at Dennetta Wright Realtor.
Thank you, Dennetta, for joining me today on House Hunting, and thank you guys for watching. Until next time, stay well.